What is up, everybody? Can everybody hear me first of all? James Remar Mox Trailers, what's up, man? Horicon Productions.
What is up, everybody? Can everybody hear me first of all? James Remar Mox.
Okay. This is just a pre-10K stream. Just no planning. Did not even like promote this. I just wanted to say hi to everybody and to tell all you guys I love you. You're amazing. Daniel Hammond, thank you. It's hopefully it's coming soon. I never want to get cocky and say, hey, I'm gonna hit 10,000, you know, but if I don't hit 10,000, if what I'm at right now is the last I ever see, I'm grateful. So anyway, Mikey Weiss, Green Arrow, Raven Wind, Patrick Holmes, a lot of you guys, I want to say thank you because I recognize so many of the names in the chat right now. You can hear my voice is cracking. I get a little nervous when I start a stream like this, especially if it's something that I'm really appreciative about. And right now I feel really appreciative. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for, I guess, sticking with me on this journey and I guess watching me, you know, whatever it is I'm doing, growing, I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to you guys. You guys are awesome. Jason Hobbs, what's up, buddy? The Raid 2 is definitely coming. My son has been begging me to watch the Raid 2. Like, he loved the first one so much. I did too. So thank you for constantly pushing for me to do that one. But I'm looking forward to doing the second one, but I like to space out things. CP, what's up, buddy? There he is. I think CP's putting together a roast. And you know what? He has a shitload of material. I'm going to say that right now because I have had some funny missteps along the way. And you know, I'm proud of every one of my missteps. I always look at it as a learning experience, right? Levi, stop it. Every time I get in here, I bring Levi and he sits right there on that bed and he scratches the bed like crazy because I get his nails clipped like once a month, but the damn son of a bitch is so freaking, I don't know, he's a weird dog. Deekster Bogard, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Very nice comment. Alonzo Smith, love your ranking videos. Any plans on what the next franchise you rank? Yes, I actually have Scream recorded. I recorded it like a week ago, and I just haven't had a chance to edit it yet. So Scream's done, and then after that, Hellraiser, because I have 2 Hellraisers to do, and then after that, I'm going to record a ranking video for that. I never knew that you guys love ranking videos so much, and I think it's like a new thing on YouTube. Like, ranking videos are like massive right now. Like, over the last year, everybody wants ranking videos. It's awesome. Kelly Marie Farrell, how are you doing? One of my patrons. Really appreciate that. Dark Demon Queen. I've seen a lot of new faces pop up. Dead Gamer 773. Gone Hollow Media. A lot of new faces. Hello, guys. Amy's Autopsy Report. What's up, Amy? How are you doing? Yeah, cool. 40 people watching though. That's awesome. Patrick Holmes. Patrick Holmes has been with me for, Patrick, what, like 2 years? I know a lot of you guys have been with me from like when I had like a couple hundred subscribers. I'm not going to go into all my thank yous right now. I'm actually putting together a whole video for that. And I have just a long, massive list of thank yous. And I don't have it right there in front of me. And I don't want to do it on this. I just wanted to make this kind of light and just fun. So if you guys want to ask me some questions, that's fine. If you guys just want to talk trash, that's fine too. We could do whatever. I'm here for you guys for like the next hour or so. Tiger Man, how are you doing? 30 Days of Night is horrible. Raiders AK, are you on crack? 30 Days of Night is fantastic, man. Hybrid Theories, you deserve so much more than just 10K. Appreciate that, man. Really nice. Nirvana Samurais, can you do a review on Supernatural Season 1? I'm so picky on reviewing TV shows. If you scan through my channel, you'll notice I don't do that many of them. And I think, you know, it all comes down to if it has to be like a desire, you know, like anything I jump into, I really just want to give it 110%. So that's not a no. I do like Supernatural. It is a good show, and I wouldn't be against it. But I don't want to tell you yes and lie to you. I don't like lying to people. So, but that's kind of my stance on TV shows. If I do a TV show, I really, really want to do that show. Oh man, Annihilation. I think we're gonna go see that CP tomorrow, and if I see it, I'll probably like it the second time. Oh, do you guys ever change your mind on movies? Because I get crap about me changing my mind. I even get crap from my freaking wife about me changing my mind on movies. Like, she got mad at me one time because I changed my mind. But you know, that's just the way I am. I'm one of those guys that can easily be affected by things, I guess. Corsha Tompkins. In the new Halloween, I want to see a Michael Myers sighting like Molly did in H2O when she looked across the courtyard. I'm sure there'll be plenty of that. According to Nick Castle, there's going to be tons of Michael Myers, you know, tons of like little Easter eggs from like the first movie. There was a recent article where he said that this is going to be a lot like the first movie. So, what that means, I have no idea. But I mean, it is my #1 movie of the year. I mean, that's probably no surprise to you guys. Adam Sideways, what's up, brother? How you doing? We definitely have to do a collab soon. I want to do a collab with a lot of these newer channels that are coming out. So much talent out there, and it's weird because I think last year I didn't see as many new channels as I did this year, or maybe just new quality channels, because there's some great quality channels out there, guys. Adam from Almost Sideways, his content is fantastic. Durbania is another one. I mean, if you watch like Durbin's videos, they're like super professional. I mean all the way down to all the titles and just everything. Like a lot of these guys, they push me to push myself. Cody Leach, I just met Cody last year, and me and Cody have become like really fast friends. I mean, he's on my stream now, and Cody has pushed me. I'm not gonna lie. I would say my YouTube game now is a lot more aggressive than it was a year ago. And I think the landscape of YouTube is different now, and I think anybody can get in here and be successful. You know, people always say YouTube's dying, or it's too late to get into YouTube. That's bullshit. It's never too late. You can get in there and you can have a successful channel. And I guarantee you next year and the year after that, we're going to see more new talented channels. Here's what I'll do. You know, and I don't want to sound like I'm bragging or anything, guys, but I will say this. If you make it to 10,000 subscribers, more than likely you worked at it. And I put in a lot of work into this channel. I think you guys see that. Lately I've been putting out like a video every other day, if not every day. It's a lot of work. And I think my advice to like smaller channels would be, look at the landscape, look around you, and see what's out there and what needs to be said. That is a mistake I do see some young channels doing, is right out the gate they'll think, okay, I'm gonna do what everybody else is doing. I'm gonna go review every new release that comes out this weekend. And if they're passionate about that, that's great. But there's a chance that some guys might be getting into this thinking, I'm gonna do this, and they might not be that passionate, but they want to be heard and they want to be seen on YouTube. And I did that when I started my channel, and I quickly realized that if I want to stay relevant, if I want to progress, I got to do something else. And fortunately, my heart wasn't into new releases. Like I said, it is to some guys, and that's fantastic. But really, my heart's always been in horror, and that just worked out for me because I knew that there's so much great horror content that is not. I don't even think we've scratched the surface on how much great horror is out there from years past, because there's a lot of a lot of reviews that you'll see out there that you know, there's not that many of them for like a certain title, like say maybe like an old Mario Bava title or something like that. You know, even some of the biggies like Dario Argento, you know, I'm sure some of his deep cuts don't have that many reviews. So I know it sounds like I'm rambling here, but the point I'm trying to get across is if you want to make it in YouTube, you have to find your voice. You have to find something that you're going to be good at and not everybody else is doing. And it's not an easy thing to do. I don't think it is. And it takes a lot of work. And 10,000 is big, yes, but in the grand scheme of things, when you look at like channels like freaking PewDiePie, Chris Stuckman, all those guys, I mean, I'm still very, very, very tiny, you know, and I still have things I have to do if I want to get to that level. And I don't know what that is yet. I'm still figuring things out myself. You know, I don't have all the answers. And part of me likes that I don't have all the answers, you know, if that makes sense. So anyway, I'm going to jump back into some of the questions because I know I'm rambling. Okay. Let's see. Calimere Farrell, your passion shows. Yeah, I do have a lot of passion for this. Daniel Hammond says, will you review No Country for Old Men in the future? I definitely wouldn't be against it. I love No Country for Old Men. I love the ending just because it's just so ambiguous. And really there is no ending to the movie. That's what I love about it. I like when they're not afraid to give a real opinion about what they think. That is very, very important. Your opinion, your word is super important. And I think your audience will see right through you. If you agree with everybody, if you agree with the consensus and just for the sake of not being disliked, then I think your audience will eventually see right through you. I have a lot of opinions about certain movies that are really against the grain, and you know, like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. That's one of those movies that Texas Chainsaw 3D. That's another one that I get blasted for, but I will, you know, I stand by that decision. I have not watched Cult of Chucky a second time because you know how I am with second viewing sometimes. But the point I'm making is that I always stand by how I feel about a movie, even if it changes. I still stand by it. Have you ever seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? Just watched it for the 5th time today and think it's a masterpiece. Yeah, I need to give that one another watch because I've watched it like two or three times way back, like maybe 10 years ago. And I definitely see the quality in it. It's a very strange and unique movie. But it's not one that's really grabbed me yet. Another one is like 12 Monkeys. I've tried 12 Monkeys so many times, and for some reason, I just cannot stand that movie. It drives me nuts. Tried and check out Eden Lake. I've heard Eden Lake mentioned quite a few times, actually. So I definitely want to check that one out. Jacob's Ladder. I have never seen Jacob's Ladder, actually. I remember when that one first came out, though. I think it was back in the early 90s, late 80s. I want to say I saw it like at the video store when I used to go to the video store in the 80s, and it was one of the VHS ones, and it looked interesting. But it's just one of those that kind of slipped by me. What do you think of Donnie Darko, and do you consider it a horror movie? It has horror elements. I think Donnie Darko is a masterpiece of a film. And you know, I don't like using that word lightly, but it's just so unique. The director slips by me now. I want to say Richard something. What the director did with that movie, you could tell he had like a strong vision and a message that he wanted to get across, and he didn't want to necessarily make that message understandable, for lack of a better term. When I first saw Donnie Darko, I was pretty confused, but I wanted to watch it again. So I think that's one thing about Donnie Darko that sets it apart from the rest. I think there's a reason why we're still talking about Donnie Darko today, because it's so unique. You know, it's actually one of my daughter's, like, her number 2 or number 3 favorite film. But it's definitely, you know, up there. Like if I had like a top 50, it would be in that top 50. And the score and the soundtrack to Donnie Darko is really great, really great. What's a good duration for the new Halloween film? I don't care how long it is, as long as it's good. That's my thought process. I've seen 3-hour movies that felt like they were an hour, and I've seen hour-and-a-half movies that felt like they were 3 hours. So I don't care as long as it's a good movie. Like, I would welcome a 2-hour Halloween movie. Absolutely. Have you ever watched... What's up, Brian Lomax? Love you, buddy. Blu-ray Addict. Have you ever watched Mulholland Drive? My favorite film of all time. Yeah, David Lynch's Mulholland Drive. That, I've watched it one time, and it's definitely unique. I don't have an opinion. It's a crazy ass movie. I just remember there's one part in the movie where it completely changes gears, and I was completely lost. Like, what? Like, whoa, hold on, back up. What the hell just happened? And I haven't watched it since. And it's one of those that I'll be scanning online and I'll see Mulholland Drive, and I think it was on Netflix too. And I was like, ooh, maybe I should give that one another. No, I'm not ready yet. That's kind of where I'm at with Mulholland Drive, but it's definitely a very well made film. Do you plan on seeing and reviewing Annihilation? Yeah, I'm planning on seeing it tomorrow, and I will probably get a review out for that one. Do you think if there was a sequel to the new Halloween, it should use the script for Halloween Returns? I actually said this in my latest Halloween update. I think the script for Halloween Returns has some strong elements to it. Some things that I would love to see in the new movie, actually. Especially that scene where Myers is about to get the lethal injection. And it sounds silly, but if you read that portion of the script, and it's like you can completely visualize what's going on, and it gave me chill bumps. And I thought, man, if they put this in the new movie, which there's no way they're going to do that because Michael's not going to be on death row in this movie, but if they used elements like that, if they make Michael as scary as he was in that scene, in that script, then hell yeah. It did have a few problems here and there. I loved the very last scene in the script where Michael had cut off I can't remember the guy's name. I haven't read the script in a while, but he was like an apprentice of Loomis, and he cut out his tongue, or he cut his tongue. And then he's talking to Loomis, and he's telling Loomis that he tried to reason with him. And in the scene, you don't see Loomis. Loomis is like in the shadows, and then Loomis comes out of the shadows, and he said, "You're talking about him as if he were a man, and that part of him died years ago." And reading that, just seeing, and Loomis was played by Gary Oldman in the script. And right away I was like, oh my God, that's it. Gary Oldman, please give me that. So yeah. Green Arrow, I really wish that this new Halloween movie would be called Halloween 3, even though that it's brand new. Yeah, it won't really work if part 2 doesn't exist. Now, when Halloween Returns was coming out, I always thought, wouldn't it be cool if they did call it Halloween 3, and we actually finally had a true Halloween 3 to bridge between 2 and 4. Yeah, that would have been really cool. Pistol 1783, Lee, just watched your What I Want, the new Halloween movie video, and I see your live streaming, so I had to come by and say hi. It's been too long. Pistol 1783, yes it has. How are you doing, buddy? 80s film fanatic. Hey there, pal. Glad to see you've been getting into Italian and giallo lately. What's your favorite Italian flick so far? Well, I've only watched Suspiria. I mean, I've watched some of the greats so far. I've watched Suspiria. I watched Tenebrae. So far, Suspiria is my favorite, and Tenebrae is really close. Both those movies, I think, are Trapped on an Island movies. Hey, I get to use my rating system. But I just pre-ordered Deep Red. I'm looking forward to watching that one. And I've only scratched the surface as far as giallo films are, but I am hooked. I am really hooked. Here's the thing about being a movie reviewer, guys, for lack of a better term, but you don't get as much of a chance to watch everything. And I just got into giallo films, and I'm like really obsessed. And so in a perfect world, if I wasn't doing this, I'd be watching giallo films every day. But part of me does see this as kind of a side job, and I have to look at other films. So I think that's part of the reason why I haven't had a chance to look into more giallo films. But I have a lot of them that friends have sent me, like Stephen Arthur, and I have a lot of them that I've bought. So they're at the ready. So I'm looking forward to diving into some more. Hey Lee, how's it going? Hey, isn't that Devon Graham? My favorite channel name. Hey, isn't that Devon Graham? I love your channel name. It's fantastic. Dark Demon Queen. I don't know how you keep up, honestly. You know what? It's a schedule. That's the biggest thing. I pretty much compartmentalize my time. You know. Sometimes I will get up at 4:30, but that's getting tough. And then I'll edit, and I'll usually record when I get home from work. Like right now, normally I would be recording. Then I got to find time to watch this stuff. So it's pretty much what's ever in the queue. So if I haven't watched something, then that's going to be in the queue. And then I'll get home from work, and I will watch whatever I need to watch to review, and then I will record it if I have time. And then I will the next morning I'll get up and I will edit. And that's pretty much my schedule. And so what does that mean? That means I don't have time for like other stuff as much. All the time in between is time I'm spending with my family, because that's important. I want to spend time with my family. So, but yeah, I mean, I really don't have a second, if I'm being honest. So sometimes I enjoy stopping and smelling the roses. But yeah, I mean, you know what though? It's fun. Like I'm still having a blast. You know, I always say if it's not fun, then I'll hang it up and I'll stop doing it. But right now it's like funner than ever, really. Killer Flicks has been a great experience. Just meeting everybody. Meeting everybody on YouTube has been such a cool experience. I've spent hours just sitting there answering comments just because I want to. So yeah, it's still fun. It's still really fun. Do you plan on reviewing Maniac Cop 2? Yes, definitely. I've heard 2 is better than the first. So I'm looking forward to do it. You know what's one that I'm really like, I want to jump right back into is The Collector. I just reviewed The Collector and I loved that movie, even though I'd seen it like 9 years ago. This time for some reason it just like lit a spark in me. And I have the collection sitting right there on my TV, and I'm like itching to throw that in and watch it. So I might watch The Collection this weekend, even though I need to get to those last 2 Hellraiser movies, because I think I started reviewing Hellraiser almost a year ago. I don't know, you'd have to look at what date my first Hellraiser review was, but yeah. So The Collection is one I'd like to jump on real soon. So look for that review real soon. Can you do a review of Batman Returns? I'll tell you who is your Batman guy. That's Brian Lomax. If you and I love Brian, and I love Batman too. I've done the Dark Knight trilogy, and I actually had Brian jump in and record like 2-minute segments for each review, because he's so fluent in Batman. And I knew if I forgot anything, Brian would get it. So, but I love Batman, yeah, especially those first 2. So I'm definitely not opposed to doing the first and the second, the Tim Burton movies. Beth S., how are you doing? Another one of my patrons. So happy to have you here, Beth. Awesome. Blue Phantom, what do you think of the wig for Laurie in the new Halloween movie? You know, when I first saw it, I didn't have time to process it, because everybody thought that she was going to have the short hair again like she did in H2O. I didn't even like think that they were going to go that route. And honestly, when I saw it, I was pretty like happy. Like, oh, cool. And if anything, it sets it apart from H2O. It reminds people, hey, this is not H2O. This is a different version of the character. This is the first Halloween. This is Laurie Strode without a brother, or without a brother named Michael Myers. So, yeah, and aesthetically, it didn't bother me. I thought it looked pretty good, actually. Will you do a review of John Carpenter's Vampires? Probably. I would do a VHS review of it, because I actually own that one on VHS. Right, it's right behind me, actually. And I haven't seen that one in ages. Now, I will say, John Carpenter's my favorite director, but I'm not like the biggest fan of his stuff like in the 90s and on. You know, I just think he hit his peak in the late 80s. Now, I haven't seen They Live. I haven't seen In the Mouth of Madness. I haven't seen Prince of Darkness, and I'm looking forward to watching those. And I just bought them, so I'm looking forward to watching those. But yeah, but I'm definitely not opposed to doing vampires. Do you have any VHS collection videos, Amy? Yes, I do, Amy. If you type in Drumdums on the search and type in VHS, a lot of my I have quite a few VHS haul videos. If you go on there, you can find quite a bit of that, actually. I even have like a VHS playlist that has like my VHS reviews, and then I think it has most of my haul videos. But if you just type in Drumdums VHS, you'll pull up quite a bit of stuff, actually, because I've had quite a few hauls, and I don't know where I'm finding the room. I actually have a VHS shelf that I just bought and installed on my wall up there, and it's starting to get full. So yeah, the VHS bug has really bit me. And you know what? Every time I sit down and I watch them on Jolene over there, my 1983 Color Track 2000, it's like going into a time capsule. That's what it's like. And it's awesome. So I don't want people to think that I think VHS is better than 4K and Blu-ray. Not saying that at all. It's just another way to experience a movie. That's why, just like going to the theater is a way to experience, just like going to the drive-in is a way to, like, I have a real like thing for drive-in movie theaters. I'm like obsessed. I even have a video on my channel that I did on my first year where I visited an abandoned drive-in movie theater. That's another one you can type in, Drumdums Drive-In, and you'll pull that up. And that was pretty damn cool, because this thing had been down for like 20 years, but the skeleton of the frame is still up, and it was in Georgia. So yeah, that was cool. Myers 1978. Did you see the new update video from Dave McCrae on his theories? No, I haven't yet. I was just at work today and I didn't get a chance to look at it, but I'll probably check that out. I know that I proposed to Dave McCrae and Mike and Jay from We Watched the Movie that we all get together and do a podcast on the new Halloween movie. I think that's got to happen, because I think, as far as like Halloween updates go, I think us three tend to corner that market, you know, and there might be others, but those are the ones that I definitely follow. Like, I'm subscribed to their channels, and I would love for all three of us to get in a room, and they've all agreed to it. So it's happening, people. We are actually going to get in a room, and I'm just getting chill bumps just thinking about it. How cool. Because Mike and Jay from We Watched the Movie, they're like a big reason why I got into this in the first place. Like, I used to watch their videos back in 2012, 3 years before I even started my channel. So to be sitting in a podcast with those guys and with Dave McCrae, who you can tell Dave McCrae is like the real deal. He works in the business, and he knows Halloween better than anybody I've ever met. And yeah, so it'll be an honor. It will definitely be an honor. Review the movie. Hello, Lee. How's it going, buddy? Nice to see you again. Nice to see you too. How are you doing? Corsia Tompkins, you three might hit the movie right on. The guys are experts. Yeah, they definitely are experts. When you listen to Dave McCrae just talk about Halloween and how he can, I mean, his theories are just so far, like, just so deep, you know, like, he can really just analyze every single scene about it, how it's shot, how it's acted, how it's lit, I mean, everything. So it's going to be a little intimidating. I'm not going to lie, being in a podcast room with him and We Watched the Movie. But I think all three of us have different styles when it comes to our updates. And so I think all three should complement each other pretty well. The Ender Hayden says, Lee, I'm making a Halloween spinoff film as one of my film school projects. Any tips? That's tough. And it's hard for me to give tips on making a film, because the only thing I've filmed is my reviews, and I've done skits. So, I mean, I'm no expert. I would say what I can tell you is, from my military experience, prepare for it. Outline everything. Lay the tracks in order. You know what I mean? Don't get too ahead of yourself. Outline what you want to say first. Come up with your story first. Then after that, figure out how you want to do your shots, how long you want your shots to be. That would be my biggest thing, you know. And aesthetically, how's it going to look? How's it going to be lit? All that stuff comes into play. So I think if you sit down and brainstorm it out first, I think you'll come out with the best product that you can come out with. How do you think Michael will find his mask? Paul Fitz. I don't know, man, but when he finds that mask, that scene is going to be freaking legendary. Like, I'm wondering if he's just going to have the mask like automatically at the beginning of the movie, because this takes place after the first one. So when he got up after he fell off that balcony, he still had that mask on. So what's he been doing for 40 years? And, you know, the mask has probably been like sitting aside somewhere. But yeah, there's so many things that I'm curious about on this movie, you know. And a lot of that exposition stuff is going to be answered within the first 10 minutes anyway, 15 minutes anyway. So, you know, but it's still just that lingering, just waiting. Hell, just even the trailer. Like, the trailer is like, somebody asked me the other day, what movie are you looking forward to more, Avengers of Infinity War or Halloween? And it's not even like a question. And that's just how much I love Halloween. You know, it's like the be all end all for me. So yeah, not even a question. But your question was about the mask. Like, I don't know. You know, I think if you say anything nice about Rob Zombie's Halloween, I did dig how he found the mask when he escaped the mental institution, and the mask was like buried beneath the floor. And I thought that scene was handled pretty well, actually. It was pretty damn cool. So if they did something like that, I'd be pretty badass. Does Michael Myers even age? I think he ages, but I think he is pure evil. And what does that mean? I mean, as far as like physicality goes, he's still going to have like super strength and all that. Even though it's funny, they've said he's supernatural, but they've said he will be mortal. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think that'll be an issue. I definitely don't think. I mean, he'll definitely be older, and will they like present that in the film somehow? Maybe, and it would be kind of cool if they do. But yeah, I remember Nick Castle posted a picture of his hand in the movie, and if you look at it, it looks like his hand was burned, but Halloween 2 doesn't exist. So what does that mean? And if I'm wrong, let me know I'm wrong. I mean, to me, it looked like his hand was burned. So I don't know. Eating roadkill and breathing. There's your answer. That's what he's been doing. Gone Hollow Media. It's so hard to comprehend that what Michael has been doing for 40 years to even write it in a film. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could spend all day just writing stuff out to fill 40 years. So I think the biggest thing they're going to do is probably ignore most of it. They're probably just going to give you what you need to know, and that's it. And again, that's what makes Michael so great. He's mysterious. So they might not tell us anything. And I even said that in my update. I kind of don't want to know anything. You know, I'm more interested in what Laurie's doing and the present Michael. I'm not really that curious about the past as much. And they have the perfect reason, because he's completely insane. You know, there is no reasoning. So it doesn't even matter, really. He's just a complete psychopath. Yeah, so Michael would not be walking in a walker. I hope there's a high body count. I think there will be, because there's like a party scene or something like that in it. I know that some of it takes place in a school. So this has turned into a Halloween discussion. It always does. It always does. And I'm not complaining. Can you do a review on The Shining? That's probably one of my most requested reviews, The Shining. So I think me and Brian Lomax were talking about doing like dual reviews on The Shining. And we might have been talking about that like a year ago. Shining is I think it's when you review a classic, you it's tough, you know, like, because you want to get it right. Like when you were like, I just reviewed The Tragedy Girls, and I wasn't like nervous at all because it's a new movie. You're just giving the gist, the pros and cons. But when you're talking about a classic, you can't really talk about pros and cons. So you have to approach it differently. And every time I approach a classic, I have to take a step back and really think about what I'm going to say. Is what I'm going to say something that's been said a million times before? You know, so I got to make it personal. I got to talk about how this movie affected me, and what is so great about this movie that everybody else or most people aren't telling. That's what I always strive for. And you know, I don't always succeed, but I mean, it's hard to tell something new about a movie that's been around for 40 years. Like, I could probably never review Halloween again. I've done it twice, and there's nothing left to tell. That movie's been talked about ad nauseum. But when I talk about a movie like, say, Bay of Blood, which was a movie that I just discovered, and it's not a movie that I hear people in horror circles talking about that much. Hell, even on Killer Flicks, I might see a Bay of Blood pop up once, you know, every 6 months. So those are the movies that I really get excited about. You know, ooh, now I can get busy because I don't see too many reviews about this movie. And if there are reviews, there's probably a lot of stuff that I can say that probably hasn't even been said, you know, if I do a little digging. So, yes, Bay of Blood is phenomenal. So glad I discovered that movie. That movie was like, wow. I love discovering classics that, you know, that I've never seen, and they turn out to be not only good, but like when I did Tenebrae and when I did Suspiria, those two movies jumped into my top 10 favorite horror films of all time. How often is that going to happen? And so when I did reviews for those two movies, I had a ball, because I think it's because it was new to me and I was excited. Whereas when I talk about, you know, The Shining or Halloween, these are movies that I grew up with. These are movies that I've seen a million times. And so you got to make it interesting somehow, you know, or interesting to yourself before you make it interesting to your audience. So yeah. Okay. I've discovered so many movies via Killer Flicks. Oh my God. That is such an understatement. It's almost like I created a monster, because every day I discover new movies on Killer Flicks. It's so, I just pre-ordered Deep Red, a movie that I've never even seen before, but because Dario Argento directed it, and because I love him so much now because of Killer Flicks, I can't wait to watch Deep Red. I ordered Opera and a few of his other movies. So yeah, those movies are just going to be fun to jump into. God David 88 says, great live stream. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. I went into this not knowing what the hell I was going to say. You know, I thought, you know what? I'm like really close to 10,000, and I want to give back. I want to sit down and I just want to talk to my audience, you know, unscripted, no promotion, nothing. So that's why I did this. And wow, look how fast the time's flying by. It's 5:20 already. So I think I have like 10 minutes left, and then I'll probably have to hang it up. What else we got? Brain Scan. I've never seen Brain Scan. Edward Furlong's in that? Okay. My voice is going, guys. Can you hear it? It's like really going. Simon Moon, what's up, buddy? Simon is a good friend. He's on Killer Flicks. We've been friends on Instagram for quite a while, haven't we, Simon? And yeah. Simon, what is your favorite movie? I want to know. Tell everybody in the live stream right now, Simon. What is your favorite movie? Here's another one that I discovered via Killer Flicks. Return of the Living Dead 3. Even though I knew that movie existed, I never dared give it attention. And then somebody mentioned Return of the Living Dead 3 on Killer Flicks, and they were talking about how it's what Warm Bodies wanted so desperately to be, but failed miserably. And that's the perfect analysis of Return of the Living Dead 3. I love that movie to death. Warm Bodies, not good at all. Crap. Sorry. Okay. What about the Wishmaster series? Yeah, I get the Wishmaster and Jeepers Creepers mixed up because they look so similar. Return. Yeah, Alonzo Smith. He knows what's up. Phantasm is another one that I got the box set actually I got it for a really good price on Amazon, and so I jumped all over it because I knew one day I'd eventually review that series, and I got it for such a low price that even if most of the movies are bad, it's still no loss. So, and I just got. Let me see if I can. There you go. I just got this too, and I haven't even watched any of them yet because I just finished reviewing them. So yeah, the Chucky series. But don't you love that box set? Isn't that gorgeous? Yeah. Okay, what else we got? Lance Davis says, I always dug the flick Cube. I've never seen Cube. Chloe says, do you like the Jeepers Creepers movies? Yeah, I love the first one. I have not seen the second or the third. I heard the third was really bad. But I've heard the second one's actually pretty good. So I actually own the second one too. So I'll probably check that one out down the line. Simon says his favorite movie, it would be every Nightmare on Elm Street movie. That's a good answer. I will say when I reviewed Dream Child, I think it was last year, and I thought this is nice when this happens. I thought going into this review I was going to hate Dream Child because the first time I watched it I didn't like it, and so I watched it, and I found myself just having a blast with it. And so by the time I reviewed that movie, if you watch that review, because I sat down right after I watched it, I kind of seem insane in that review because I was still like on this high from watching it. So Dream Child was such a surprise. I actually enjoyed the hell out of it the second time. But the first Nightmare on Elm Street's like, Jesus. Wow, what a movie. Oh, Arrow Video, just so you guys know, they just announced today that Last House on the Left, the original, look that up. Just type in Arrow Video. The box art is just gorgeous. And that's a classic, the original. It's a tough watch, but it's a classic. And the documentary, I have the DVD that has the documentary, is one of the best horror documentaries I've watched on one specific movie because of all the craziness that went on behind the scenes and how they treated the girl in the movie that was the victim. They really treated her like crap on set, and so it's just really interesting. Trial and Error, what's up, buddy? How are you doing? Have you seen Duel? No, I have not seen Duel. I know that's the movie that Spielberg did before Jaws. As a matter of fact, I used to watch that Jaws documentary on the VHS back in the 90s, and he talks about Duel, and really Jaws is like Duel in water. So, yeah, I've always I've always been curious about watching Duel though, because I'm sure it's good. It's kind of like what Maximum Overdrive was, right? Because is there a driver in the truck? I could be way off. Let's see what else we got. Please let me know about Serbian film. Can I give you guys just complete and utter honesty right now? I really don't think I'll ever watch a Serbian film based on what I've heard. Unless you guys can convince me otherwise, I don't see it happening. I'm serious. A Serbian film, from what I heard, takes it way too far. And I'm not built for that shit. So, let's see. Yeah, there's a driver, but it never showed. That's what I thought. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Ooh, Brittany Murphy, Cherry Falls. That's another movie. I actually bought that movie for Spider Geek, who is now Cinema Sensei. I think he changed his name to like Cinema Sensei, and his channel's like getting back up there because he's so talented. But I bought that movie and I sent it to him, and I remember I was like, man, I kind of want to watch this, but I'm not gonna open it and then send it to him. So I'm probably gonna have to buy that one because I've heard that's a pretty good slasher. Yeah, don't watch Serbian film. I will. Yeah, you don't have to tell me twice. Have you seen the French film Martyrs? No, I haven't, but somebody actually sent it to me. Where's it at? I have Martyrs up here somewhere. Well, anyway, I have Martyrs. I got the DVD in there. Did any of you guys get this? the Night of the Living Dead Criterion Collection for $18. That was a good deal, and I have never seen Night of the Living Dead, so, and I just got the VHS, so now I'm like, it's a conundrum, It's a conundrum because I don't know which one to watch first. Should I watch the VHS or should I watch, like, it's like, should you watch the one end of the spectrum or the other end of the spectrum? But I think I'm gonna watch the Blu-ray first, because they say this is like the best that this movie's ever looked. What are your thoughts on the film Inside? I have not seen the original and I haven't seen the remake, but the remake does have Rachel Nichols in it, so I'll definitely watch that. But somebody sent me, Greg Buzz from one of my patrons. He sent me, I believe he sent me Martyrs and he sent me Inside, but I don't even know if I can watch it because I think it might be Region B, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I've always been curious about the Inside. Drumdums watches on Night of the Living Dead just like you did the Fog. Yeah, I kind of did like a Fog VHS / Drumdums watches, which was a lot of fun. So yeah, I would probably do that when I do watch the VHS. But you know, some people, they ask me if I'll do a Drumdums watch on a movie that I've never seen. Logistically, that just won't work though, because believe it or not, I plan these things out, and when I do like a Drumdums watch on a movie, there's certain scenes that I'm looking to talk about while I'm doing it. So if it's a movie that I'm going in blind, I would pretty much have to do just a full-on commentary, and I can't like record that. You know, commentaries, you don't really want to record yourself the whole time anyway, or unless you're streaming. And I don't want to do Drumdums watches as a stream. I want it to be like the best quality that I can make it. So that's the big thing. Amanda, how are you doing? She says she's late to the party, just tuned in. I'll have to watch this over at the beginning later. Hope your day is going good so far, Lee, and everybody in the chat. Amanda's so nice. Everybody say hi to Amanda. She's been a good friend of mine for, what, Amanda, like 1.5 years now? Maybe 2 years? We both like Silverchair. Yeah. Beth S. says, have a great night. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Beth, for stopping by. I really appreciate it. The Crazies is great. Yeah, whoever mentioned The Crazies, that's a good ass movie. Loved it. And that was one of those I didn't know how it was gonna be, but because zombie movies are just like 1 out of every 10 zombie movies are good these days because they make so many of them. And so it's not technically a zombie movie, but we'll go ahead and call it that for the sake of it. And man, it's like a zombie movie should be just full of like intensity. And for some reason, they don't seem to like capture that as much or as often. That's why I'm such a big fan of the 28 series, 28 Days and Weeks. And you're gonna say they're not zombies, and that's fine, but that's what I'm gonna call them for this stream. And in that category, though, that whole subgenre, those are my favorites, just because of how emotional they are. If you mix emotion in with like a zombie movie, that's all. You know, and when Walking Dead is good, it's because of that. But Walking Dead is it's not that good. The last season picked up a little bit, but the season before that I'd given up on the show, and then I jumped back in. So yeah, where am I at? Hold on. What movie is worse, Dream Child or Freddy's Dead? Oh my God, that's the easiest question I've had all day. Freddy's Dead. Gee, I was just talking about. I actually like Dream Child. I mean, at least there's like some vision, some creativity in Dream Child, and aesthetically, there's some really cool stuff to look at. Freddy's Dead is just like an abomination, and it's sad too that it's the last movie, but it's a piece of crap. Cody Archer, what's up, buddy? Cody Archer is one of my favorite Killer Flicks members because he'll get on the video and he'll ask his questions, and you know what? He just makes everybody so happy, and we love answering his questions. And he rubbed off on me a little bit because I did that too, like last week. It's just a fun way, you know, just to mix things up. Instead of typing out your question, get on Facebook Live and ask your question. And that's Cody Archer. That's his thing. And nobody does it better than Cody Archer. Cody Archer is the man. Do you like Never Back Down? Corsha Tompkins. I don't think I've seen that. Never Back Down. It sounds familiar though. Who's in? Help me out a little bit, people. Who's in that? Let's see. Oh, Cody Archer just uploaded a new one. You guys should go to Killer Flicks if you haven't become a member yet, and look for Cody Archer's newest question. We are just about to hit 3,000 members, so it's been cool. Will Smith, who is the worst Killer Flick member? I'll give you a top 10, okay? Number 10. Nah, I'm just kidding. Have you ever seen Sweeney Todd? Yeah, Sweeney Todd's great. And I'm not even like a big fan of musicals. But yeah, I loved Sweeney Todd. Really good. I mean, if you can hold my attention with a musical, then you're doing something right. Lee, which do you prefer? The 6'8" Tyler Myers or the 5'9" Nick Castle? Nick Castle. I mean, you know what's funny? As I was just watching a John Carpenter interview today when they asked him about Rob Zombie. And he called Rob Zombie a piece of shit, which is funny. And they've since like patched things up, but he did mention like Tyler Mane and how he was too big. Myers was not supposed to be that. Myers is supposed to be you and me. He's supposed to be just a normal person who is just this evil killing machine. He's not supposed to be a monster. He's not supposed to be a giant. So, having said that though, if I did a ranking of the best Myers is, Tyler Mane would definitely be in like my top 3, 4 maybe. I mean, what he did, what he brought to the character, he can't help it that he's that tall, but what he brought to the character was pretty damn creepy. Like, he's definitely the best part of Rob Zombie's movies. Yeah, well, I would say Scout Taylor Compton is great in the second one though. You guys know how I feel about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, right? Love it. Derek Mears, top 3 Jasons. Yep. Cannot argue with that one. Let's see what else we got. I'm going to give you guys 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes, and then I'm going to hang it up. Hang it up, and I'll go get some chicken in me or something. Yeah, imposing. That's a perfect word for it. Let's see. Yep, we're back to Halloween. Like I said, it always comes back to Halloween, but that's my own fault because I talk about Halloween more than anything. I drive Cody and CP and Brian crazy with all, like, we're doing another Scream stream next week, and I'm sure they didn't say it, but I'm sure they're thinking, please no more Halloween, at least for a while. And so we're going to talk about, I think we're going to do British horror movies. So I think that's what we're going to do next week, and we'll do news. And all the news will be about Halloween. So, what else we got? Nick Castle or George P. Wilbur? Now we're talking. Now we're talking. That's a tough one right there. I'll give it to Nick Castle, but George P. Wilbur is, I don't know. What he brought to 6, and I know that he's not in that last the last act, but what he brought to 6, I think is freaking amazing. I love George P. Wilbur. I mean, he's so good they let him in 4 and 6. So, so now there will be 3 actors that played Michael Myers twice. You got Tyler Mane, you got George P. Wilbur, and now Nick Castle will have played Myers twice. Pretty cool. 4K or 3D? 4K all the way. And I have a 3D collection, and I have a 3D TV right there. But after I saw the beauty of 4K, I like watching my movies in 4K. It's gorgeous. But it is fun to throw in a 3D movie every now and then. If it's like My Bloody Valentine 3D should never be watched any other way. It should only be watched in 3D. And it's weird if you watch it in 2D. This 3D is so good and so intentional in that movie that it throws you off if you watch it in 2D because it looks like it's 3D still. But it just looks off. I've never watched the Psych TV show. Is Cult of Chucky really that good? I saw the review. Now, I will say, it was like the honeymoon phase when I did that review. And I haven't seen it since. But when I do look at a lot of people's points about why it was bad, like Cody's, I can't argue with it. I can't say you're wrong. Everything they're saying is right. But at the end of the day, I still had a good time. As a Chucky fan, I had a really good time. You know, and the biggest thing that saved that movie for me was Brad Dourif. Brad Dourif brought his A game. He probably turned in one of his better performances as a character. You could tell that he was having a blast. And I didn't dig any deeper than that. You know, and if you want a review that's going to really tell you the deep down and dirty of why this movie does suck, watch Cody's review. But my review wasn't like that. My review was just basically the experience I had, how entertained I was with the movie. But yeah, it was still had some definite problems. So I'll probably watch it again sometime and see how I like it the second time. But I enjoyed it the first time. Uh-oh, there goes my phone. What are you guys having for dinner tonight? I'm probably going to be going to Tijuana Flats to have tacos. But more importantly, what are you having for dinner tonight? That's what I want to know. This mic is it's a, what do you call it? A blue. I forgot the name of the mic. The mic. Snowball. That's what it is. It's a blue Snowball. Fish and chips. You must be from the UK. Review the movie. Pizza. I always talk about food. Even on Killer Flicks, I always ask, like, what are you guys having for dinner? Because I love food so much. Blue Snowball. Thank you. Spam. Ugh. Did you watch WWF wrestling back in the days? Yeah, I did watch some wrestling. I was a Hulk Hogan fan. Just a casual fan. I never, became... let's just put it this way. I didn't have any posters on my wall. You know? It was just a casual thing. After I joined the military, my life was pretty much changed forever. And I was focused on one thing. I had gotten married and had 2 kids, immediately after I joined the military. So I didn't really have time to get into wrestling or anything like that. But I definitely see the talent there, you know. And I think it's great what they do. You know, it's a whole world. They build this whole world around these characters. Really, it's another form of art. So, I don't put down wrestling or anything like that. Pizza with salad, me every Friday. Cheat meal. There you go. All right. You got to have a cheat day. I've been trying to drink only water this week, and I have failed a couple times. But you'll notice when you get above the age of 40, you're going to have to make some adjustments, or you're going to get fat. That's just what it comes down to. So Dave McCray made a good point about it's silly to overanalyze lore too much, and how people these days can't just enjoy a movie without having a... You know what? I was just talking to a guy about that this morning, one of the guys that I work with. I think there's different types of moviegoers, and this guy, he's one of those guys that he can't not help pick a movie apart. And luckily, I'm not that guy. You know? Luckily, I'm the type of person that can enjoy a movie for what it is, warts and all. You know, I can spot when a movie is almost perfect, if that exists. I can spot when a movie's technically proficient and great, but I don't dwell on that. You know, I think that's part of the reason why I loved Texas Chainsaw 3D so much. I had a freaking blast. I did. At the end of the day, I can't control my bodily functions. I was laughing at sometimes, but I was having a blast. I was having a good time, and I'm probably wrong for enjoying it, but I did. I enjoyed it. So, favorite Scorsese film? Ooh, that's a tough one. Goodfellas is probably my answer too. That is a phenomenal. Goodfellas is in my top 5 all time. I mean, Goodfellas is a masterpiece. I've watched it. It's one of those movies I watch every year. Let's put it that way. Casino's great. If Goodfellas didn't exist, then I think Casino would be appreciated a lot more, because Casino is, people don't talk about Casino because of Goodfellas. But if Goodfellas didn't exist, they'd be talking about Casino. I think it's just as good, or almost as good as Goodfellas. Oh man, what made you start a channel? Jesus, that's for the last question. You know what? I'll end it with that. Okay, I'll end it with what made you start a channel. Just to give you the short answer, it was really just I wanted to talk about movies, you know, and I wasn't satisfied in my day-to-day normal life with, I couldn't have, in-depth conversations about movies. So I just discovered this whole thing on YouTube, this whole environment of talking about films, and I was seduced. And at the time, I thought, damn, I want to do that, but I can't. I used that word, that ugly word, can't. And so, because I remember I said to myself, I want to do this as far back as like 2013, and I didn't start doing it until 2 years later. And the thing that made me finally do it is I forced myself to buy the equipment. I figured if I bought this equipment, then I don't want to waste that equipment. I don't like wasting things. So I figured if I bought this equipment, that will force me to sit in front of that camera and actually do it. And I think if I tried to do it with just my phone or my laptop or something like that, I think that's an easy way out. And so I didn't do it. So if you look at my first video, my delivery is horrible, but at least I do have good equipment. I have a good camera. And at that time, I didn't really know much about audio, so I used my camera mic. So the audio is not that great in it, but I have good video, and which is even worse for me because my presentation was completely atrocious on my first video. But it's still there. Like, I didn't delete it because I didn't want to delete it because I wanted people to see that if I can do this, then you can do this. That was my biggest thing. And so I think that's a good way to end this. This is my way of saying thank you to you guys. Thank you for getting me here. I would not be here without you. And yeah, it's hard to say goodbye. Goodbyes are tough. But yeah, this was a lot of fun, and I really appreciated talking with you guys. I thank you for coming out and spending an hour with me. I had a blast, and I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. And it looks like there's a couple good movies coming out this weekend. You got Annihilation, and you got, I think it's called Game Night or something like that. Yeah, I've heard good things about both those movies. So go out and enjoy those movies, and have a great weekend, guys. All right? Peace out.